what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. I've got a quick video for you. I have done in the past this sort of thing where we're gonna be putting a nice hole in a perfectly good roof, but we're also gonna do it in such a way that we hopefully seal this up so that it lasts a long time. And what we're doing is cutting a hole in this roof for the plumber. The plumber needs to get vents. You have to have a vent through the roof. You can't go out the sidewall, that is code. So unfortunately, we can do the best job making zero hole penetrations or potential leak points in our roof, and then somebody could come behind us and put a hole in the roof. So I typically will try to work with the subcontractor doing this work so that we can be, well, I guess responsible. I want to be responsible for this roof. This is our job. So first thing we need to do is location. We've already marked the location here, and I apologize if there's a little bit of wind because it's pretty windy out. I think the mic is going to be okay, but if there's a little bit of wind, slapping my mic, guys, I'm sorry about that. First thing we're gonna do, find our location, make sure that there's no framing underneath, which we've done that, and I've got a hole saw bit that is just slightly larger than the pipe that we're gonna go on. Now, first thing, this roof is angled. This is at a 4/12 pitch. If I come in and drill a hole perfectly straight down, the pipe isn't coming out of the roof like this, it's gonna come out plumb, so we need to also drill our hole somewhat plumb. So what we're gonna do is find the center point right where we want it. Oh, and the other thing, you notice I am actually drilling on the center of this rib. When you have a ribbed roof, okay, not a shingle roof, but a ribbed metal roof that is a screwed, exposed fastener roof, we're gonna try to hit the center of a rib. And the reason is most roof boots will not fit between these ribs without basically creating a dam. We don't want to dam water that's coming down. We want it to be able to flow. So we're going to go in the center of the rib so that we have room for water to divert around. And the way we place this boot, you will see, it matters, and we take into consideration the damming of water as well. So I'm going through the center of a rib. I'm curious what others think about that. This is how I was taught. Conceptually, it makes sense. So that's what we're gonna do. If you guys got another way of doing it, go ahead and hit me up in the comments. But let's go ahead and drill this hole. Nice thing is I do have a drill that has like a auto stop, so it's not gonna break my wrist because I'm probably gonna get caught up. So I'm gonna try to get it started. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I am close to the edge, by the way, but I do have my magnetic boots on, so I should be good. I am going to try to plumb up my drill as close as possible, and I'm gonna put this in reverse, and I'm gonna eat as much metal down to the sheathing underneath before I go crazy. Okay, almost through all the metal. And yes, there's gonna be shavings, there's gonna be dust, and we'll have to blow and clean off this roof when we are done. All right, time to just go at it with the teeth the right way. Okay, that's all I was trying to do. I was trying to get this dang piece of metal out of here. Perfect, dude, right in the garbage can. Dude, that was awesome, the way that went down there. Okay, now we want to make sure that we try to angle this as much as possible and not rip my wrist off. Oops. Now, because that angle was like that, I had to eventually bring it flat because I was running out of depth on my hole saw, but now I'm gonna come back and I'm just gonna finish this at the angle of plumbness for the pipe. So now I think this will make sense. If I drill this hole straight with the roof, then the pipe is basically gonna go in straight. But I just wanna make sure that there's enough room for the plumber to get his pipes in, and it looks like it should be no problem. The flatter the roof, this is only a 412. We actually just got done doing some 612s, and that has to be pretty good because as the steeper the roof, when you hole saw in, it changes the angle and the opening size of that circle. So just something to think about, you know, just because it makes it easier on your plumber when he can get in there and have plenty of room to plumb it up. So now that we have this plumb, I'm gonna let the plumber come through, put his pipes through, and then we're gonna show you how we do the roof boot and make sure that that's sealed up as good as possible. All right, plumber's got our vent pipe in, and I think it got a little bit windier, so hopefully you guys can hear me just fine. So vent pipe and vent pipe boot. This is just an OD brand master flash, and really it's kind of like a universal. So plumber supplied this and we agreed to go ahead and put the boot on and do our best to seal it. And what we like to do is this calls for a fastener every 1.5 inches along this perimeter and a sealant under the bottom. What we like to do is use our double beaded butyl tape. So this double beaded stuff, man, it works phenomenally. It is great for sealing. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna flip this over, and then I'm gonna run this right on the edge of the boot. Making sure that we get a good lap here on the joints. We've got this ran around the boot. We're gonna peel this off. This is just helps us lay this material. So now, these things can be kind of cut to any size. They've got a bunch of different dimensions, and you just cut whatever material out that you don't need for the boot size that you're using. So the plumber already did that for me, which is nice. And we're gonna put this down on a diamond, okay? That is why I did not finish this sealant right here on this joint, or down at this point, sorry. Because if water were to get in here, I just wanna have a place for it to make its way out. So we're gonna put this down on the point. We're gonna kind of push in this double beaded butyl tape right here at the top. And then I'm gonna work this in right on the angle. First screw right at the point. Nice thing is we do have sheathing underneath of this steel, so I'm going into good structural connection points, but also if you don't have sheathing, you might want to consider using like a stitcher screw for this. Okay, so you can see this butyl tape, and I'm just squeezing it. Oh, I'm kind of slipping here on my knees. So I'm going to start right around this point. Make sure that is good. Make sure that we've got it kind of centered. Just going to kind of work it around to this other point on the rib. And I'm going to go ahead and hit this screw as well. Now these are just metal roofing screws, so they have a neoprene gasket. So I know that that's going to also do a good job of sealing. And then we're going to come through, and every 1.5 inches, we're going to throw one of these screws. And this is going right through the center of this double beaded butyl tape. So you see how there's a bead here, a bead here. When you put that screw, it's going to cause compression right on that bead, and that's what's going to actually do the sealing. So you definitely want to make sure that you put screws every so often. They say 1.5 inches. I might go a little bit smaller, but we're just going to work our way right around, trying to avoid any ripples in this flashing. So you want to try to flatten it out. I think the most important thing on this install that I see people do that I think could very easily be improved is I think that the double beaded butyl tape is a great way to ensure a good seal underneath this gasket, but also putting this flashing on a diamond. I see them all the time running straight. And while I'm sure it's going to work most of the time, anytime you have a place for water to dam up, bulk water, so when the roof gets rain and this is a flat line, what's water going to do? It's going to come down on the roof and it's going to sit right here. Now let's say it rains, turns to freezing temperatures, you get ice, that can cause problems with your seal. This is going to allow water to come down, and gravity is going to work it right around, not causing anywhere for water to sit and seep in over time. So now that we have the boot, what we're going to do is take some Lexel. Now, Lexel's good because it sticks to about anything. It's very good at, you know, extreme temperatures. Wait a second, that's already open. We must have already used, oh, I guess I've already used this one. That's kind of nice. Anyway, back to my, I guess, story. We also could use through the roof, and if it was hot today, it's only about probably 65, I would use through the roof because Lexel can start to want to run a little bit in extreme temperatures. But the thing to know is that once this is filmed and cured, this is going to be the exact same as through the roof. So you don't have to worry about Lexel or through the roof. I just really like these sealants, this product. So anyway, Lexel from Sashco is great. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a quick bead right here. This is another belt and suspenders. I don't see this as a leak point, but we're just going to do it anyway because it's a cheap insurance policy. Where I mainly am concerned, and I'm just going to wet my finger, and I'm just going to kind of push this in so I don't have any like ridges where water can kind of sit. You know, we're not going, just spit on your finger, guys, it's all good. We're not really going for pretty, we're going for function here. All right, then what I'm going to do also is put a small bead around here. This to me is probably the weakest link in this boot, is this connection here. So this is where I'm going to really like the Lexel product because it sticks to everything so well. Okay, so I'm not going to add any sealant here. A, because I don't think it needed it in first place, but B, because this is downhill, water should not be running up here anyway. That is a roof boot, guys. I think this is a simple thing, but a lot of people are afraid because it's metal, because you don't have a shingle to flash over. These things work really well. You just got to take a little bit of time to make sure that you do a good job getting all those sealants in there. I think the double beaded is a great thing, and also run this on a diamond over the rib. Don't put it in the flat. If we would have put it in the flat, there would have been nowhere for water to get out. So I hope this little video helps you guys if you have a metal roof project in the future. OD brand is great. I've never had a problem. You can get them exactly made for the pipe size, so you don't have to cut them. They also have some really good rounded ones. So this is a square universal. You can get some rounded ones, which I do like because they don't have sharp edges, which is where water, you know, can pool up. With a circle, it doesn't do that as much. But anyway, if you guys have a good way of doing this flashing, I know you can also get a boot that goes over your pipe and that goes over this boot that looks real nice. I've never used it, I've never done it. But yeah, if you guys got any comments about how I did this, how I could do it better, hit me up in the comments. If not, just let me know if you enjoyed this or not. And I'm gonna go ahead and get off this roof. This was the last detail we had to do on this job, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. So we'll catch you later.